Now then, it's no secret that I'm a big fan of Delta Airlines. Among the US carriers, I think that they do stand out from the crowd, and they certainly have a great onboard product. Although the newer planes tend to steal the limelight, I recently got to experience one of their Boeing 767-400s that have been retrofitted. Delta has invested heavily in new interiors for those aircraft, and honestly, once you're on board, you wouldn't know that you're on an older plane. There's 4 cabins: Delta One, which features the famous lie-flat seat; Premium Select, which is a bit like Premium Economy; Comfort Plus, which has a bit more legroom than the economy seats; and finally, Economy. So what's it like? Well, I travelled in the Delta One cabin from London to New York, and it was an excellent experience, not least because there were only 5 of us in the entire cabin. As you can see, there's a single row of seats on the left, 2 in the middle, and another single row on the right. That means everyone has direct access to an aisle, unlike many carriers where you have to awkwardly climb over your neighbour. So far, so good. Onboard entertainment is obviously high on the list of most passengers' priorities, so every seat is dominated by an 18-inch screen, which would be small at home, but on board it feels huge, especially because you're so close to it. There's almost 400 movies to choose from, plus TV shows, audio channels, and the 3D moving map, so there's something for every taste. A set of noise-cancelling headphones are provided, but you'll probably get better sound with your own. I really liked the easy access to a power outlet and USB charging port, which is right next to the seat, and the seat controls are also clearly labelled and easy to adjust. With a simple push, the tray table pops out and opens up for meals. I liked how robust it is. It feels really solid and well made, unlike many of the flimsy tables that appear on other carriers. There's 2 types of window seats. Odd numbered rows position the seat right next to the window, and the even rows put the seat next to the aisle. Personally, I prefer the seat next to the window because there's an extra buffer of space from the aisle. But the other layout includes an extra storage area down by your feet. That's handy for keeping shoes, snacks, books, or magazines. In the middle section, there's a privacy divider between the seats, which you can place up or down depending on, well, whether you like the person you're travelling with. With the flight underway and the cabin lights dimmed, I really liked the soft ambient LED lighting. It's enough to see what you're doing without being overbearing, and there's no harsh glare. There's also a dimmable light mounted in the corner of the suite, which is handy as a reading light. The main attraction is, of course, the lie-flat bed. It's slightly narrower than average at 20 inches, but plenty comfortable. And as always, the ability to get a good night's sleep when travelling for work is extremely valuable. The onboard service I received was impacted by COVID, so the entire meal was presented on one tray. And I describe it as just okay, not the best I've had, but also not the worst. The biggest surprise and disappointment for me was the lack of soft drinks. Beer and wine were offered, but bizarrely there were absolutely no soft drinks at all. Honestly, I can't think of any justifiable reason why that would be the case. It was very strange. Everyone had to wear a mask for the entire flight, of course, unless we were actively eating or drinking. It is uncomfortable, but tolerable, and most frequent flyers are of course used to it by now. Well, there you have it. If you're curious about flying on the 767-400, that's a lot of numbers, Delta's currently flying them across the Atlantic between the States and Europe, as well as to some South American destinations. Let me ask you, have you flown this configuration yet? Would you like to? As always, I would love to hear your comments and opinions below. It's always interesting to compare notes with other travel pros. Thanks for watching that clip. In a moment, I'll tell you how you can watch the full episode. But just before that, we have a nifty free guide for you, which you can get at travelproshow.com. It's called 7 Top Travel Hacks to Save You Money on Your Next Flight. And it's the ultimate blueprint for getting the best deal every time. For more travel pro tips, subscribe to this channel by clicking on the little bell down there, and then leave a comment below saying, "I subscribed," and I'll personally respond to your comment. Also, since you just watched a clip, you can now watch the full episode of the show here. By the way, thank you for supporting creators like us so that we can continue to bring you high quality original content.